Alrighty, fellas. Yo, what's up? My name's Patrouski. I'm excited to play some PokeMMO today, dude. I'm doing some actually creative, interesting stuff on the Ironman account today, as opposed to just Jimmy runs, trainer reruns. Well, we're doing something Jimmy run related, but we'll see here in a quick sec what exactly that is. We're working on some shenanigans today. Most importantly, welcome to the PokeMMO stream recap. I believe this is stream recap 519. This is your daily source of tips, tricks, information, news, discussion, everything happening in the PokeMMO space we try to discuss here in a productive and meaningful way, or we kind of just laugh and we joke about dumb little video game songs. If you want to talk about dumb stuff live on stream, come check it out. The stream recaps are usually cut down to just be PokeMMO related. If you're interested in that, you're in the right place. So let's go ahead and jump into it. First things first, we do have catch events. There are two A tier, really big important catch events happening this weekend. If you're watching the recap, there is one today. It's in a few hours, so you have enough time. I do upload these at 6 a.m. my time zone right about now, and if I upload it, it's in 12 hours. It's in 12 hours from the upload time of this video. It is at 6 p.m. ET, Friday the 5th of June at Route 119 in Hoenn on Channel 1, and you want to be catching Phoebuses. This is essentially a Phoebus catch event. Don't let the Carvana and the Sharpedo trick you. You want to be catching Phoebuses. That plus 15 species bonus is just so massive, and you're going to have to look for the Phoebus tile. Now, don't be that guy when the event comes around. You're like, oh my god, where's the Phoebus tile, guys? Where's the Phoebus spawn? Somebody tell me. There are tons of resources. There's the Phoebus Pawn Discord. There's a website. I've done a ton of videos covering resources on where to find the Phoebus tile. Make sure to check those out so you can be aware and have a competitive chance in the catch event. If you are not at the Phoebus tile, I don't think you can win this event. Like, you've got to find the Phoebus tile. It is so crucial, with that bonus just being absolutely massive. Nature bonus +5 for Modest, +5 for Bull, and a shiny Carvana up for grabs. You could also just randomly run into a shiny Phoebus if you're lucky enough, which would be fantastic. Shiny Carvana is an amazing prize. Love the shiny Pokemon, dude. The greens, the teals, really cool Pokemon. Really cool, like, duality of colors. Reminds me a lot of Druddigon. And then there's also, obviously, 1000 RP if you are interested in that. You can evolve it into Sharpedo as well and get a nice purple shiny. Purple shinies as well if you like that. Next up, the Land of the Sheep, aka where I reside. We got Saturday the 6th of June at 4 p.m. ET, Route 43 in Johto. You've got Flaffy, Mareep, and Ampharos. Cool to make. I can't believe they made a movie, that new Sheep Detective movie, after the PokeMMO event. It's honestly, it's a great movie. Check it out. You have like a 9.4, 9.6 out of 10. It was really good, honestly. I was surprised. Flaffy +2, Mareep +1, Ampharos' neutral and nature bonuses are on your screen right now. This is a Saturday catch event, so it should be a more popular one. Keep that in mind. There is a shiny Mareep up for grabs. Ampharos is a good PVM raid Pokemon. You give it hidden ability access, the +- ability, which is crazy. Nobody expected plus and minus Pokemon before raids were released. Nobody ever expected plus and minus Pokemon to be meta for anything in PokeMMO. It's part of the reasons why I love PokeMMO, is they can introduce mechanics and content that make things like plus and minus Pokemon meta. Make things like Primeape meta against Darkrai. Like, that is so fucking sick to me. So this is your chance to win a really good, like, almost perfect IV'd, essentially perfect PVM raid Ampharos, and it's shiny. It'd be a huge flex, and 1000 RP on top of it. Next up, I wanted to shout out two community things. This is the Team Synergy website. I've talked about this a ton recently. I have been using this every single time I do a catch event. I head over to the Pokedex and I search for the Pokemon in the event, and I find the best ways to catch these Pokemon. Team Synergy website has become a new regular thing that I visit. I visit it probably every day, if not every 1 to 2 to 3 days playing PokeMMO. It has so many important things. I'm here all the time. It's a fantastic, it's like this and PokeMMO Hub are competing, and like shinyboard.net are competing for some of the most useful PokeMMO tools in the community. I don't want to, or websites, I guess. I don't want, you can't just pick one. They're all fantastic, but this specifically is the official War Shiny Planner, okay? And you can go through and see all of the shinies and their points, at least from previous years. It's possible that some of these get changed, and I'm assuming that they're going to go ahead and use these. They're going to use this as a team for their own shiny war. I don't know if there's a way for you to actually like mark things off the list. I don't think that's how it works, but you can go through and at least see every single point for each shiny. If you don't know, different shinies in Shiny War are worth different points. Shiny War should be coming up in the next 45 days or so. We don't know for sure. Obviously, it could just not happen this year. I've tried to make that very abundantly clear. It's possible they don't do Shiny War this year. I would be devastated. It would suck, but it is what it is. I'm hoping they do. It's likely they do. They've done it the past 2 years. With some staff changes, I think it is more likely that it's like 50-50. So I would just keep an eye out. I've been keeping an eye out for an announcement. My life has been revolving around Shiny War for the past few months, to be honest with you. That's what it takes to compete in something like that. I'll have some videos coming out soon explaining more and talking more about Shiny Wars. Also, I also have a how to prepare for Shiny Wars video on my channel that should still be mostly updated if you want to go check it out. The main thing is, if I talk about mysterious balls are not worth it. If you're a main account, I do not recommend prepping mysterious balls for Shiny War. They are just so expensive for the points. I recommend instead going for like more fossils and more eggs. Those are generally the things you want to shoot for. Potentially Ninkata if you want to go for like a shiny Shedinja, if you like that kind of hunt. I love that Shedinja is on this list. It's really crazy, man. It's a really cool Pokemon. So some really cool mons. You can see like Shuckle and Yanma down here in tier 2, tier 1, tier 0, etc, etc. Check out the Synergy website. It's synergymmo.com, and it probably should be linked in the description. If it's not, you can call me Stinky legally. Next up, I've talked about this before, I'm pretty sure, but I'm not 100% sure. And this is something that almost needs a whole video in its own right. And I feel guilty that I feel like not enough attention was drawn to this. Not enough attention was drawn to the fact that Team Uxie was the second ever team in PokeMMO to complete their Shiny Pokedex. Complete their entire living dex. Team Mr. did it first about over a year ago. I think it took Uxie about 1 year to be the set, but that's even crazy because Team Mr. was so ahead when they did it, which was really fucking impressive. And then for Team Uxie to do it about a year later is really nuts. They really locked in and got shit done, and it's just really crazy. We have 2 teams now in PokeMMO that have achieved something that we never thought possible. It's just so insane. For the living dex, if you don't know, it doesn't require, like, you don't need to have like one of each Squirtle, Wartortle, Blastoise. It's just, okay, someone has a Squirtle, someone has a Charmander, they could evolve it if they want to, right? Usually you might need like 3 or potentially, I'm not sure exactly, like, yeah, it's just status owned, like 1 Bulbasaur. If someone they have 3 Bulbasaurs, they could evolve them. You know, they're not going to for the living dex. That's all. They want to keep it the shiny version they want, but you have to have at least one, I believe, potentially maybe 3, at least one of the species line, you know, and that possibility. Look, but it's just crazy. They're only missing legendaries. Don't count because obviously legendaries are so rare in Pokemon. I wish they would implement a more consistent way to hunt them. Legendaries are so rare. They're kind of just like if they happen, they happen, but they're not. But we don't count them as part of like the shiny dex because they're so much more out of our control. You only get 1 encounter per month per account. It's just too insane, right? But dude, it's crazy. It is crazy. And this is something that we've calced it before, and it takes somewhere around like 300 to 400 years of one person playing PokeMMO for 16 hours a day to get this achievement. So the fact that it's just insane. It's something crazy like that. The fact that 2 teams have achieved this now is just so nuts. And it took a long time, like a long, you know, how many years? 14 years for PokeMMO to exist. 13 years for one team to do it, right? 14 years for a second team to do it. And it's just nuts. I think that Team Uxie didn't get enough props for this, is why I'm showing this off. So once again, double congratulations to them. Okay, next up we can head into our achievement showcase. I don't have a market thing today. Maybe we'll do that later. I forgot about that, so apologies. But next up we'll head into our achievement showcase. We do have for those who don't know, the achievement showcase is a way for players to flex their stuff, flex what you've been working on, flex your achievements, whether it's shinies, legendaries, Pokedex completion, something niche or fun. The wackier the better. Let's go ahead and jump into it. Zika got himself a Suicune, finally his Suicune catch. Legendary hunts can be really annoying. They're a great way to introduce new players to grinding within Pokemon in general. Usually he got his Suicune at about 3,000 encounters, which is a little bit lucky, but it's a pain in the butt. 3,400 encounters. Congratulations to you, man, on, I believe, potentially your first legendary. If not, just a fantastic legendary catch, dude. Congratulations. Next up, Zapped has been trying to go for a legendary, from my understanding. Yeah, he's been trying to go for Moltres. Okay, and he got himself 3 shinies, 3 single encounter shinies on the way to Moltres. Still no Moltres, As of this, obviously this is like we're behind. It's like a month ago almost now, but still no Moltres, but 3 single encounter shinies. That is fucking insane. If you want to submit your achievements to the showcase, there's a chat in my Discord called the Achievement Showcase. Great question. He also got the Bayonet beforehand, so he's gotten 4 shinies over the past, recently bit, and that's just really cool to see. Man, 3 shinies on the way to a legendary is something I've seen like a shiny here and there, and shinies are much rarer than the legendaries. 1 in 30k versus a guesstimated 1 in 5k for the legendaries. We don't know that for sure. The legendary rate is still not confirmed in PokeMMO by the developers, but we think it's around 1 in 5k. And then finally, I love first shiny achievements. First shiny achievements are always a big deal because they feel super special, and who saw it? Who noticed it? First shiny, happy face emoji. 150,000 encounters drop. How is this all you? First shiny, brother. He didn't even. I'm scared. I'm scared of Toby J. He didn't even complain. He didn't go, oh man, like it's finally over. Oh man, like as a new player, this was so hard. Blah blah blah. First shiny. I'm terrified of you, Toby J. I'm terrified of you because you're the kind of guy to get fucking 100 shinies in your first year of playing. You're the kind of fucker that like will make a name for yourself during the official shiny war. Yeah, I can't wait for Toby's wet streak. Dude, you deserve it. I love this mentality. You gotta have experience playing other MMOs. You have to, because this is just it's a scary positive mentality, and I mean that like so unbelievably complimentary. It is powerful, dude. Congratulations on pushing through, and it's a great first shiny too. Congratulations on pushing through, dude, and getting your first shiny. Oh my god, 150k. Next up, this is what I'm talking about with unique Pokemon and shinies and everything. I started this challenge where I can only buy PvP. I can only play PvP with Master Balled shinies or Master Balled Pokemon if I could read from the GTL. I've been hunting them for the past couple of days. This guy is only PvPing with Master Balled Pokemon. Like, that's, dude, this is a really fucking cool challenge. There's already people who collect Master Balled Pokemon. You only get 5 untradeable Master Balls per account when you play PokeMMO, right? And sometimes people, waste. It's whatever you want to do, but I recommend saving your Master Balls for shiny Pokemon. That's probably a good flip, no? Anyways, I recommend saving your Master Balls for shinies that can KO themselves that you aren't prepared for. Explosion shinies, memento shinies, scary things like that. So many new players will Master Ball alphas or legendaries, especially like you can just re-encounter the alpha, or even if you can't re-encounter the alpha, most likely you're losing 40k Pokeyen. It's not worth Master Balling, right? Would you trade your Master Ball for 40k Pokeyen is the question. Most people wouldn't. If you would, more power to you. I always say, to be fair, if it makes you happy to Master Ball a Bidoof on Route 1, that's why we play video games. Go ahead and make yourself happy. I'm not trying to tell others what to do. It is more so just my advice and my opinion. I would recommend saving Master Balls for dire situations. I've played PokeMMO for 13 years, and I've never used a Master Ball in this game ever. And I will hold on to it until I need one for like a shiny Spirit Tomb or some specific, dangerous shiny. But this is fucking cool. It's a great way to like collect those rare, because you can't trade them, right? But you can have them as an item, but you can have them on the Pokemon. And I love people who collect the Master Ball Pokemon like this, let alone use them for PvP is like the next step. Very, very, very cool in my opinion. JD, super small achievement, been playing for 1,500 hours, primarily focused on shiny hunting and event play, but I decided to just take a break and try some randoms PvP. And this guy, not only did he try it, but he took it seriously. He grinded and he got himself the Water Spout Blastoise. I love, if you are not a PvP person, I totally get it. Try out randoms PvP. Like, I don't always love constructed PvP. I've liked certain metagames and NU. Randoms is so fun. Randoms to me is, I think, the best entryway to PvP. I think Spidget brings up a really good point that is worth talking about, where like randoms PvP can teach new players bad habits. So be careful. You have to understand that randoms PvP and constructed are very different, and they have different goals and like things you want to factor in when playing. So try not to take those bad habits from randoms, things you might do in randoms versus you wouldn't do in constructed, for example. Look at that choice bets for like 400 matchmaking reward points, right? Like, being able to get free Pokemon, free items. PvP is underrated as a early game money-making method. I think PvP unfortunately falls off a bit as a money-making method. during events it's really good. That's the other thing, is if you're good at randoms PvP during events, it is one of the best money making methods in the game. If you are a good randoms player, you can win so much money getting the mystery boxes. There are the Xmas mystery boxes, and these, you would get one of these for every single win, if I recall correctly, in Xmas PvP, which is, they're 80k now. Like, that's for each win. They were like 30k during the event. This is absolutely crazy. So oh, sorry, I'm blocking it, excuse me. But try out randoms PvP. Randoms PvP is phenomenal. It is very powerful. It's very, very good, especially when you're early. PvP rewards, I would love to see you get a little bit of a buff, honestly, because they do fall off, I think, as you develop for like the high-end PvP players, especially the constructed. I think constructed rewards could see a buff, but maybe keeping randoms rewards the same. Maybe that's what needs to happen. It's an interesting discussion that I would leave to the experts, to the PvP players, but like trying to draw more attention to it where I can. But anyways, that is that. We have two more things to cover really quickly, and this is a wholesome story from Winter. Yesterday evening, I was in a call with a friend that just started playing Pokemon, and he said that he really liked Umbreon. I had 4 EV boxes for breeding, but I was broke, a bit too broke to buy some Dittos, so I went looking for some EVs themselves to make a good Umbreon for him. I made 5 eggs, and behold, came out this shiny EV. I'm still shocked, as it only took me about 1,000 EVs in total to get a shiny EV. And I was about to go to bed, but my friend just said he happens to like Umbreon. This is like the most wholesome. This guy got rewarded because he was going to breed an EV for his friend who just started playing the game. Like that, if that isn't the best good karma thing you've seen all day, I don't know what is. That is incredibly, incredibly cool. Beautiful story. Amazing positive karma to see. Congratulations to you, Winter. That is absolutely gorgeous. Next up, one of the craziest wet streaks I've seen over a period of like a 1 week or so. After going 30,000 encounters dry for Entei, which is about, if we expect the legendary rate to be 1 in 5k, 6 times over rate. 6 times over rate. That is the equivalent of going, what's the math on that? I got terrible at math. 30k times 6 or whatever, right? 9180. That is the equivalent of going 180k dry for a shiny, if my terrible math is correct. This is incredibly, incredibly dry and incredibly, incredibly painful. He has, I don't know if he got the Entei or if it RNG evened out. He was able to get 6 shinies within 6 days. Bro got 1 shiny a day for almost a whole week. I'm going to try. It's probably going to be pretty blurry. I'm going to try to zoom in here. It's a bit difficult to really show, but that is crazy. He literally got 1 shiny a day after going that dry. It's beautiful, man. I always say RNG evens out in Pokemon. You just have to just play long enough to see it happen, or grind long enough, or give yourself the opportunity. RNG does even out over long periods of time, but you need a large sample size to see it. So that's the tough part, and not everybody wants to see that, which I understand. But that was pretty crazy, man. Congratulations to you on your 6 shiny in 6 days. That is unbelievably gorgeous. That is our stream recap intro. I might cover an item market as well, since I forgot to do that, so apologies. Well, I'm sure we'll have good questions from chat today. Those will be covered. If you want to go above and beyond and like the video, subscribe, all that jazz, let's just jump into actually grinding on the Ironman accounts and making more shiny war progress via a hopefully fun and unique way today. This is actually a great question, and it's changed over time. You have 12,000 hours in PokeMMO, but how much of that is AFK? Good morning. Banger question. I really like that. Probably like a fair bit post. When did they change it? People don't know. I forgot about this until you just said that. The AFK logout timer in PokeMMO used to be, I think, like 2 minutes. It used to be like way shorter. Nowadays, you can AFK in PokeMMO for like 20 to 30 minutes, like quite a while. If I'm being honest with you, it wouldn't surprise me if like 20 hours of my game time on the Ironman account is AFK. I think that's, I'm gonna be honest, you know, like maybe 20 to 30. I don't think it's more than that. But 20 to 30, it wouldn't surprise me if we could chunk off. Like, I think that's probably fair. On the main account where I have like 9,500 hours, dude, I don't think that, I think I've actually weirdly, I'm not sure. I don't know on the main account. If I were to chunk off, I would say anywhere from like maybe 100, maybe 100 hours in the main account. That's probably right. But if you want to assume, it's no skin off my back. I like that I've played a lot of hours of PokeMMO, but when you reach a point of like I have around 12,000 hours played, if someone wants to be like, actually I bet he's AFK'd for 1,000 hours, okay, 11,000 hours, you know, like if that, like it's one of those, that doesn't hurt my feelings. If you want to say, I think Patrouski actually only has 11,000 hours instead of 12,000, okay, at that point that doesn't. What does that change? You know, to me personally, but I respect that. I think it's a good question, because with any MMO, look at me on Skyrim right now. You know, I'm literally AFKing on Skyrim right now. And I don't usually do this like when I do this for background stream, you know, stimulation. The Subway Surfers of the millennials is AFK Skyrim rotations. We all know this. But I really liked that question, and it did make me think about, you know, really think about it. Number one, and number two, remember that it used to be a lot. It used to be a logout timer prior to a certain day, like 2013 to 2016, 2015-ish. The logout timer was like 2 to 5 minutes. It was way shorter, if I recall correctly. My memory is not great, but that's what I remember. You get logged out a lot more. Nowadays, it's like a 20 to 30 minute. It's a long logout timer. You can AFK a lot more these days. Hey, back to you. Market price check 25% XP charms. I want to know why they are so expensive. That is a great question. The reason why I would love to cover potentially the PokeMMO Hub thing at some point, but the reason why XP charm 25% are expensive are because they're a collectible, not a used item. They're discontinued. These no longer come into the game. The amount that, from my understanding, the amount that is in the game is in the game. I don't know exactly what year they stopped making these, but they don't come into the game anymore. They're a discontinued item. So 100% are used actively, and it's a great item, right? 50% are a good budget option. 100% are better, even though it's more expensive, it's like more worth it. You save that time, which is huge. But the 25%, they're not actually used. They're just a collector's item. That's the short of it. Great question. Someone just bought out the entire Xmas present 2025 market. Yeah, they did. Stuff like this is good to show people, because it's like, you should probably stay away. You know, if someone's like trying to heavily buy or heavily buy out or invest, is why I like covering news like this, because it's probably good to be weary of this and not look at this as a real price jump, but look at it as someone is trying to buy them out. So yes, someone did on June 4th, 2026 attempt to buy out the Xmas present 2025 supply, and maybe it's a legitimate investor, maybe it's, I mean, there's always, it probably almost always inherently has to be, I guess, or someone's opening them, I don't know, but it is good to show that someone has bought them up 300%. Be weary of this item over the next few days or so, or the next few weeks. Let it restabilize and get back to a, it might stay high-ish and fall down to a higher price than which makes sense, but we'll see. It could go back to normal. Just keep an eye out for this item over the next few weeks, fellas. I mean, that's pretty insane. Someone said, Patrouski, do you think Blizzard could be a decent TM investment? They're at 1K. How many are on the 288? I mean, I would say, I don't like giving financial advice, so please do it at your own discretion. But at 1K? Yeah, I mean, it's hard to argue with that, you know? Like, they usually cost 25K at the mart. Like, Blizzard is a used TM and a used move. You could argue that a lot of mons that want to spam Blizzard learn it naturally, things like Vanillix, right? But I think, like, I'm building a Jimmy Run team right now that I just used a Blizzard TM and put it on my Blastoise. So, like, I at 1K, it's the... What's the word? The downside is so low. At 1K, the downside is so low and the upside is just so high. When the base price is 25K, I think it's hard to argue. I would definitely... Yeah, I can't believe they're 1K. That's a really... And they come into the game through events and things like that, so keep an eye out for that. That's crazy, man. This is a great question. Someone said, do you think mysterious balls are popped like crazy during war, or is it more worth it to do other strats? That is one of the most wrong times I've ever been in PokeMMO. When they actually, fun fact, so for those who don't know, mysterious balls are not nearly as good as almost everybody thought they were. If you knew they wouldn't be that good, you were way ahead of the curve. I thought mysterious balls would be super broken for shiny war. When the first shiny war actually allowed them, I was disappointed. I didn't think it, people said it ruined the war. There were people who like, well, I'm not doing the shiny war anymore, like this ruins it. But I'm doing a terrible Jimmy Run, ignore this. But I was disappointed by the allowing of mysterious balls, but I didn't think it ruined the war. You know, personally, that was my opinion. And now I look back and I'm like, I was so wrong. Mysterious balls were actually one of the worst uses of your Pokeyen. I was worried about mysterious balls because it's one of the few like pay to win methods. You can swipe a bunch of money and pop mysterious balls and go for shinies in a very, very short amount of time. The problem is you have no control over the tier of those shinies. Yeah, there was someone infamously who spent like $5,000 or $7,000 US on mysterious balls and got like 6 points for shiny wars. And if they had spent that money, you know, I'm not a credit card. Do whatever I want to do. I like to play the game free to play. I like to keep that disconnect from IRL to in-game accomplishments personally. But support the devs. Do what you want to do, you know? It turned out like if you just bought fossils or did dittos with Pokeyen, like that was just a better use of your Pokeyen flat out. Like just, and I was totally wrong. I thought the time would be more impactful, but since it's a month-long tournament, and since you just have no control over the tiers of the, it would have just been better to spend it on dittos and follow, which you still have to hunt for and put in all that time. So it's yeah, I was totally wrong on mysterious balls. Mysterious balls are not broken for shiny war. It is a better use of your Pokeyen to just breed more eggs and go for rare spawns, and go for like more fossil popping. I think fossils were even like nerfed in year 2 because of fossils it turned out fossils were very, very strong. But it's also good species clause, and there's there's duplicate clause and unique species clause, which both also help balance a lot of stuff like that. So every year shiny war's gotten more balanced. I think a lot of the good balancing changes in year 2 were overshadowed by incubators being added and the last minute changes, which were really bad. Obviously everybody kind of agrees with that. Not everybody, but you know, a lot of people. But a lot of the good changes in year 2 shiny wars, there was a lot of really good stuff that kind of got overshadowed by 1 or 2 major bad changes in my opinion, like the official encounter counter. So I'm hopeful that year 3 will be better. I'm hopeful that we'll see the best shiny war that we've ever seen in the 3rd year, and that's the hope and the goal, and it makes sense, I think, given the past 2 years. So hopefully we see some news about shiny wars very, very soon. And I'm not just talking about it nonstop every single day. We can actually like lay out some, you know, groundworks and potential for people to plan and form teams. Dude, I'm really glad to hear this. Superhero said, all jokes aside, your recommendation to meal prep really did come in handy last year. Thank you for the sub, by the way. Really did come in handy last year for shiny wars. I couldn't afford the sub boxes, but I made breakfast burritos and trail mix. Yes, to plan. I plan to do the same this year. People, I have it in my how to prepare for shiny war video. A big part of shiny war prep, playing video games for that many hours, is meal prepping and caffeine prepping and planning responsible caffeine consumption, trying to plan stretch breaks and having like dumbbells by your side to get some exercise in. If you're gonna be playing video games for that many hours, yes, the IRL prep when it comes to shiny war, it cannot be understated. Potentially having your setup near a window to get some sunlight. Like I love playing video games for long hours, but I try to recommend doing it as healthily as possible. Obviously it's never amazing, but you can do better than people realize. You don't have to be the hot pocket eating cosmic brownie, I'm just naming foods that I have in my house, gremlin, you know. But you know, just I funny, like for me, like I feel like I take shiny war as a chance to be even more healthy than I normally am. So we'll see how that plays out this year. But yeah, please prep and plan caffeine responsibly to your health plan. You know, meal prep wherever you can. Talk to people in your life, your loved ones and friends, and be like, hey, I might be less available during this month due to this big event that I have going on. Shiny war is a big thing for a lot of people. If you're just going for like top 100 or top 50, you might be fine. Top 50 is pretty serious though. Top 3 is like where you already know all of this. If you're trying to go for top 3 and you haven't already done this, it might be a little, not already, you meal prep, you know, sooner to the event. You don't want to meal prep too early, but you know what I'm saying. I'm glad that tip was helpful last year, Supa, and I would encourage people again, if you want to like take shiny war seriously, even doing, you don't have to meal prep the whole month. That's crazy, right? But like just meal prepping something the night before or the day before, and having your grocery, maybe even a grocery run. You know, trail mix is a great one. I love trail mix. That's a great call. Preparing some element of food and caffeine and yada yada is really important heading into shiny war. This is a great point to bring up. Someone said the Drillbur and Excadrill hidden ability market is the lowest I've seen in my 3 years of playing PokeMMO. Yes, and it will just keep going down and down because every single year you get another whole rotation of Excadrill from the Lunar New Year event, right? Every single year the Lunar New Year event brings back the Excadrill raid, so you'll always see new ones added. So like there's been times, if you haven't seen this, there's been times where alpha Excadrills have been 1 million Pokeyen just for any alpha Excadrill. There was 1 mil to 1.2 mil.
There was a time where they were like 800k to 600k and then 400k in the previous year. Now they're as cheap as 168k, which is kind of a good thing. Like, it's good for people to have access to Lore Breaker Excadrill. It's a very, very crucial hidden ability. Being able to Earthquake into a Rotom Wash and get past the Levitate is a huge part of OU. Yes. I used to give these away to new players. They'd be worth a solid 500k. Yeah. I mean, even now, it's still a good Pokemon to give to new players. But I get that. Like, it's not as special, you know. But it's one of those. Hopefully there's always like a new special alpha to replace. I think alpha Hydreigons right now are super expensive, but I think that's more for Shalfa breeding and like shiny chance as opposed to what's it called? As opposed to like, I don't think hidden ability. There is no hidden ability that impacts Hydreigon for PvP. Yeah, it's just levitate. There's just no HA, but it's alpha. There's no HA, which is kind of funny. But alpha Hydreigon is like 2.2 mil, and I think people just buy these, to my understanding, for Shalfa breeding. Is the main thing. Because I mean, how beautiful could you imagine? I hope we see a Shalfa Hydreigon from the upcoming Shiny War. These were only brought into the game through mysterious dust balls. Yeah, this past year. So it was just very, very limited. There's just very few of them in the game. I still have some to open on the Ironman account, which is awesome. I mean, that'll be dude. If I get some limited alphas on the Ironman account from these, I cannot wait to open all of these. If you don't normally watch my content, I understand. I cannot implore you enough. I will try to make it very well known on what do I open these day one of Shiny War? I don't know. I like the idea of keeping these like midpoint into the war. These will be very, very exciting to open these during Shiny War. I cannot wait, man. This will be a fucking blast to open all of these. I've saved them over an entire event season, man. Alrighty, fellas, I think that's where we're gonna go ahead and call it for today. I had a blast of a stream. I hope you guys enjoyed the stream at least 10% as much as I did, and you probably had a good time. Like the video if you enjoyed it. As always, subscribe for daily PokeMMO videos. I do upload every single day, and I also stream Monday through Thursday at 12 p.m. ET. Discord's down below if you're interested in that, and if you want to go above and beyond, support the content. YouTube memberships, Twitch Primes, Twitch subs, PayPal, and Venmo donations especially allow me to be here. The fan funding is what allows me to put this much time and effort into all my guides, my streams, and everything. I'm excited to continue Shiny War Prep, and I will see you guys tomorrow, Friday, Saturday catch event streams. I'll see you guys then. Have a good one and good luck. Have a good weekend and good luck in those catch events, guys. Peace and Reno for now. Yo, what's up? Outro Patrouski here, and I wanted to say thank you so much to everybody's name who is on this list. You really allow me to make the content that I do every single day, and I hope I can make it worth your guys' while and add to your PokeMMO journey. Thanks again so much for watching the entire video, and have a great day.